The legislative session of 2009 came to a close at midnight on April the 3rd. As the clock struck midnight, the curtains closed on a difficult yet, I believe, very successful session. With this update, I'll briefly touch on the highlights of the session, and then I'll provide additional updates that you can watch as well, looking at specific issues in more depth. Balancing the budget was clearly the overriding issue this legislative session. The global recession has certainly impacted Georgia's revenues, resulting in combined budget cuts of approximately $5 billion for the amended 2009 and fiscal year 2010 budgets. House and Senate leaders came to an agreement on an $18.6 billion budget for fiscal year 2010. This budget reduces the size of state government without creating new tax burdens for you. We believe it is vital in a time of economic uncertainty that we resist the urge to place those additional tax burdens on Georgia's hardworking citizens in order to balance the budget. While the cuts were difficult, this budget maintains the priorities of education, health care, and public safety. While the House and Senate work together to find the needed cuts, we also understand the importance of positioning the state of Georgia to help lead the nation out of this current recession. While the federal government seems committed to spending our way out of the recession by raising taxes, borrowing, and even printing money, Georgia is committed to creating an environment that will promote job creation and economic growth. House Bill 261 creates an income tax credit for anyone purchasing a home. I was proud to be one of the primary sponsors of this legislation. The Job Act of 2009, which I also co-sponsored, is an aggressive approach to provide true stimulus to our economy. This act provides incentives to businesses that grow jobs and will lead to thousands of new jobs in the state of Georgia. The existing BEST Act was revised to include expanded tax credits for job creation and retaining research and development, imports and exports through Georgia ports, and a reduction in capital gains taxes. Transportation needs also found the spotlight during the session. Senate Bill 200, which dramatically will change the way transportation projects are planned, funded, and constructed, was passed by both chambers. While both chambers passed a resolution calling for a statewide referendum in November 2010 to allow the taxpayers to vote on a funding method for the DOT, the conference committee was unable to reach a compromise. Many people were disappointed that a funding agreement was not reached, but the 2010 session still provides an opportunity to see a referendum on the ballot by November of 2010. The reorganization of DHR was addressed in House Bill 228. The department has become too large and was broken down into three new agencies: the Department of Health, the Department of Human Services, and the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. The legislative session saw significant education legislation passed, including the Move On When Ready Act, the Bridge Bill. Both of those should have a significant impact on the dropout rate in Georgia. I was one of the sponsors on both of these measures. House Bill 178 allows local systems flexibility in expenditures for the next 2 fiscal years. House Bill 280 addressed the shortage of math and science teachers. And House Bill 455, which I authored, allows systems 30 additional days to issue contracts and eliminates future supplements for unused leadership degrees. We were also looking out for property owners by passing several key pieces of legislation. House Bill 143 provides the homeowners tax relief grants or homestead exemptions will be sent to the counties for the 2008 tax year. Senate Bill 55 addressed the method used by local assessors to appraise property for ad valorem tax purposes. Property tax assessments cannot increase for 2 years. We also addressed several issues of significance for agriculture, including House Bill 529, which prohibits local governments from passing laws regulating farm practices and limits the liability of landowners who charge a mission for persons 18 years of age or older to participate in agritourism or hunting and fishing activities. House Bill 46 formally ratifies the governor's suspension of off-road diesel sales tax. Senate Bill 80 set additional requirements for food processing plants. House Bill 160, which I was a co-sponsor of, allows additional fees to be assessed for super speeders, with those funds to be designated for trauma care. House Bill 388, which I was also a co-sponsor of, will allow the adoption of embryos. As you can see, this was a very busy session with significant accomplishments. Your legislature continues to work hard to ensure that Georgia remains one of the most desirable states in which to live. If you would like additional information on the legislation I've outlined, please watch my issue-specific updates or feel free to contact me at the email address or the phone number provided on the screen. This has been State Representative J. Neal from your capital. Thank you for your time. God bless.